Hello everybody, it is the Component Cast. As you can see, I'm here on my own at the moment next to a blank square, but don't worry about that. We are here because we wanted to just get things started. So I'll give you the basics here. So we are playing a game called Urban Jungle, which is this fantastic little book right here, as you can see. This is the print-to-order drive-through RPG version. It comes in a very nice hardback. If you're looking for that, you can get it currently discounted 50% off on Drive-Thru RPG. It's by Sanguine Productions. They also do games like Ironclaw. So if you're looking for some more very, very fun noir furry roleplay, you can find that there. There is expansions for the universe. So there's a film noir one, which is like Flash Gordon, that sort of style of cathode rays, science fiction that you might get from like a Fallout as well. And then there is also a Horror from Beyond the Deep expansion that you can check out. As for everything else with us, we are the Component Cast. You can please check us out. We can, of course, do other things. So if you're looking to support us, you can jump onto our Patreon. That's the best way to support us directly. You can find our Patreon at the links down below. Alternatively, you can subscribe here on YouTube. You can also subscribe on Twitch if you want to do that. Follow us on Twitch as well if you want to get these things every time they go live. Oh, someone has showed up. It is camera that I don't recognize, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just forget about it. It's cool. Yes, so when it comes to everything else we got going on, you can find us all there. You can also check out our podcast formats, our YouTube formats. As for our show's podcast formats, you can find our shows in individual podcast channels. You can find them by searching the show's title. Except for this show. For this show, if you want to find it, you got to search Component Cast Specials, where you can find all of our specials. You can find our Dungeons & Dragons show, the Eleanor Chronicles, our Urban Jungle show, Krogan Knights, our Hunter show, the Great Schism, our Lancer show, It's Just Business, and our specials, including the Elite Dangerous Weapons Zone special, the Greaser Gobbies, Moogle special, the House of Time Midgeman special, the Path of Ghosts special, and the Bellegarde Goodbye special on the Podbean, Player FM, Podchaser, Listen Notes, Bloom Play, App Podcast, Overcast Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podfriend, Podcast Addicts, and Good Pods apps. Shows release on YouTube and the podcast channels at 12 noon GMT, Friday for Eleanor, Saturday for Lancer, and Sunday for the specials. So this Sunday, that just passed, we had our first episode released. It did really well, so thank all of you for that. Thank you for watching it on YouTube. Thank you for downloading it. Thank you for listening to it. And you can please remember to turn on your auto downloader on your preferred app. Be sure to leave a review and share it with your friends who are equally as nerdy. You can check out our links down below where you can find our merch store. Merch is limited to show runtime, so once we finish with Eleanor, no more merch. Once we finish with Lancer, no more merch. There's no merch for this specific show, but if you were looking for, let's say, Krogan Knights merch, it no longer exists. It's limited run, so if you want some of that merch, now would be the time to get it. It's also another great way to support us. Otherwise, the music you listen to is provided by Epidemic and licensed and provided by Epidemic Sound. So if you want to find some of that, you can find that there. And we will be back after this intro. Hello, everybody. Now, let me just double check our sound, if you guys wouldn't mind just talking, just to make sure things are working. Perfect. Perfect. Great. Just wanted to make sure all that was working
Such a
properly.
Disappointment.
I am. Just wanted to make sure all that was working.
Such a disappointment. I'm sorry, but everybody, Mikey just disappoints me constantly all the time.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. That works out for me. You guys are currently sitting in Joe's Diner.
Are we? Or did somebody go to the doctor and yell at him?
Oh, yes. Yes, we're at the doctor. We're at the doctor's place, but unfortunately there's only two people here. Both of them are at the doctor's, but the doctor is not in currently, which is very funny, I will say. Which is very funny, as far as I'm concerned. If you're not at the doctor, then, you know, the doctor isn't here, then who are you going to yell at? But yeah, the doctor's giving you guys some names. You guys were chatting away to him, and that was where we ended our last session. So, Mr. Bullet and Ace, what are we doing?
Drinking coffee. For people to get here.
We're not going to wait for people.
Do we want to fast forward to the speakeasy?
I mean, we can, if you guys have nothing else you want to do for the rest of the evening in game.
I don't think so. Without anyone else here at the moment, we kind of need to...
I know exactly what's going to happen here. So,
we're going to get shot. I'm going to be very disappointed.
Both of you get shot in the back of the head. So, you're outside the doctor's office right now. You're contemplating what you're going to do. The doctor, the fox who drove you here, Lucy, and are both T-posing. They're not doing anything. They're standing there idly, and they're doing their idle animations. But there's Benoît there who shows up. Benoît is the macaque reporter who has been sort of semi-assigned to you guys by the Madame of the Amethyst Eye. He approaches you guys. He's followed very shortly by Everard, his big crocodile sort of friend, bodyguard, whatever he might or may not be. And he's holding a pocket notebook, and he's just flicking through it, and then looks up and goes, "Just the people I wanted to see."
Why?
I might got some information for you.
Okay.
So, let's give this. Let me give it to you as quickly as I can here, because I can tell you're a busy man. You know the victim is a moonshiner for the Pillar Gang. The gunman, police, and the suspects. The victim is gang-related publicly. Yeah, that's all stuff you already know. He kind of mumbles to himself as he's talking. Yes, that's right, the Pillar Gang. So, the Pillar Gang have actively approached me. And they want to talk to you guys.
Why?
They want to work with you. They want to give you any information they can give you. This is one of their guys. While the Pillar Gang might not be an official gang in the eyes of many people, it is, however, still willing to work to not let its people get hurt.
Okay, where and when?
Simple enough. There's a construction site around the corner from the Amethyst Eye. You know the one on 7th and Row?
Yeah.
That one. Meet them there in...
So, let me get this straight. This organized crime gang wants us to meet them at a construction site with lots of concrete around.
Concrete? And he, looks at the ground where there's all this wooden slatting. And then looks up at you like, how long have you lived here?
The city is turning into concrete.
This city can't turn into concrete. They can't keep it in the ground. It sinks and shakes and breaks. They have to keep replacing everything underneath us with new wood because it just keeps sinking.
Fine. Okay. We'll go meet them at the construction site.
Man, concrete.
I'll go meet them at the construction site. I'm going to leave Ace here to do her work. Away from the nasty people. Oh, come on. You've been acting like a little scared gerbil.
I'm not even with you two. I'm still at the diner.
I thought you were at the speakeasy.
Didn't you?
Are outside the doctors.
Yes. We didn't jump forward to the doctors. We didn't jump forward to the speakeasy. You're just outside the doctors right now.
All right. Fine. You're not here.
Yeah. So you're just not going to tell Aces. You're just going to show up at the construction site, basically. Yeah, that's cool. No, he's like, yeah, I need go to the construction site and ask for Job. He'll introduce you to his men.
Right. Job.
Job. Yeah.
Job. As in the book of.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Cool. Anything else I got for you? No, that's it really at the moment. Anything else comes up, I'll let you know.
I do have one question.
Sure, ask away.
How did you know I was here?
Got friends.
Well, I didn't even know I was coming here until about 20 minutes ago.
That's 15 more minutes than I need.
Okay.
You and I both know you don't get places in this town without you knowing people and people knowing you.
Okay.
And he waves and heads away with Everard, leaving you to your thoughts. You gonna go to the construction site, or are you gonna head somewhere else?
Lucy, I see you're slowly coming back to life. You're being able to not T-pose anymore. We're going to the construction site on 7th and Row.
Right away. What did I miss?
Recap.
The
Basically, you missed the recap.
Yeah, the recap, and we were you guys were approached by. I have information for you. There's a construction site where the Pillar Gang kind of operate, and they're looking to talk to you guys about things.
Alrighty.
So yeah, you guys are heading there, I guess. There's nothing else to do, so you're heading to the construction site on 7th and Row. 7th and Row is one of the older streets in town. It's been rebuilt multiple times because of the constant sinking, but a lot of the buildings have been kept in fairly decent condition due to the fact that it has a little bit of money. You know, this area of town has a little bit of money in it. So you get there, you can see this big rectangular building that has a big, construction framework around it. You know that it used to be a concert hall many years ago, but then there was an accident with the floor sinking, and thankfully no one died, but it was quite close. It's been rebuilt and it's being rebuilt and has quite an intricate level of support underneath it, with the potential opening of this place bringing new and more upswing to the industry of music and art in this town. There is a very obvious opening that's obviously the entrance for workers that you can see.
Does anyone look like they are in, overall command? A foreman or something like that.
The one who looks the least dirty, but also the most busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of my job that I do now.
Yes.
I never get dirty, but I'm always like, for God's sake.
Yes, indeed. There's someone you see like that. Yeah, for sure. They are a skunk who is working exceptionally hard at the moment. They are very, very busy, very, very hard working looking. They're trying to work to get through things. They've got a lot of stuff. Obviously, they've got a deadline to meet. They look a little occupied, but they don't look so occupied that you couldn't say hello to them.
I'm going to approach them.
Okay, you approach them. They look up from what they're doing. They're giving out instructions to somebody about, we need to increase the support here and make sure there's like a proper T-junction in there with the correct sizing. Hello, sir. What can I do for you?
Yeah, name's Jake Bullet. Was told to meet someone here.
Right, who are you looking for?
Job.
Ah, yeah. Job, and he yells into the construction site, and someone goes back with it. Yeah, boss. Someone here to see you. Says his name is Bullet. I'll be out in a minute. And a minute later, someone emerges from there. It is Their name is Amadia. They are a goat. They approach. It's Job and goes. Job holds out a hand and goes, "Bullet, my name's Amadia. It's nice to meet you. Hear about that nasty business, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, come with me." And he like walks around the side of the building, where you see there is less like coverage because this side of the building is like an alleyway. There's no there's no like space to put in a fence basically. There is a downward ladder that leads into what you can assume is like an underground or an undercity hanging to build supports for it. And he walks down it, and when he walks down it, he turns his head and goes, "Hey guys, PI is here," and like 3 people turn around. There is a sparrow, a tiger, and a horse. They look up from what they're doing and they give you like this upward nod of respect. And there are a few chairs that are just there, and you can feel free to do what you want.
I sit down.
Job takes a seat, so does the tiger, but the sparrow and the horse do not. They are what looks like they're working on maybe some fittings or fixings for the support that's nearby. Yeah, so our friend who got shot in the Amethyst Eye, I heard that the Madame has hired you and a few other people to work on solving that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's one way of putting it.
Well, me and my friends here, we're willing to put in a good word. Our boss wants to put in a good word to let you know that, hey, that we're willing to help. You know, we don't want this happening. It's not good for anyone's business, and it's definitely not good for our lives, you know. If moonshiners start getting hit, who knows what's going to happen, you know? It's bad for business, it's bad for the city, really.
What do you know about paper fish?
He gives you this, like, shocked look of, like, raised eyebrows. You mean the April Fool's joke?
Yeah.
Just that, it's an April Fool's joke. Kids would come up to you, slap it on your back, and then yell paper fish and then run away.
Okay. So that's a no then. Excellent. You're not the only one with contacts. Police have got a line to me as well, so just to be fully transparent.
Right, yeah.
So you don't know anything about that. Okay. Was your friend making a delivery that night?
I want you to make me a... Make me a will... Hang on, I'll tell you now. I will... It's an excellent question here. Hang on. There has to be something I could think of here. Will... Negotiation. And if you have Streetwise, which I think you should have, you can apply that as a gift.
Right, so you said will and negotiation.
Yes.
Okay. 2 successes.
Very nice. You got a 6 and a 10. Very good, very good. And this guy... you know what? I'm not gonna... Yeah. You know what? That's pretty good. It's pretty good. He thinks for a moment and kind of goes... you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you. He was meeting up with some, shall we say, distributors in the city in order to set a price for the deal price for, you know, your liquor around town. he was a fairly trusted member of our community. He had a lot of friends in good places.
Any enemies? And I don't mean your normal everyday thing. I mean anyone you know of who would be willing to take him out in a public display.
Not in the last couple of years, with how things have gotten a little bit more quiet and somewhat more civilized around here. The only person who comes to mind is his wife, but I don't think she'd kill him like that.
No.
How would she kill him?
Domestic violence normally comes in the form of grabbing a knife or something close by that allows them to actually inflict a major wound.
It's often a crime of passion.
It's often middle of an argument and the person takes off. There's just literally from like working in a hospital and dealing with those kind of things.
Though premeditated, if it's a woman, statistical likelihood that she is using a poison goes up by a lot.
This is
Oh,
true.
absolutely. Yes.
Yep.
But when it's like that, it's normally an
crime
explosion.
of passion.
Yeah.
So,
It's normally an
Yeah.
explosion and stab, stab, stab. And then,
Yep.
oh my god, what the hell did I do?
Yes.
yeah.
So he kind of goes, I don't really know how she would have killed him,
Call in
but
character.
yeah, there's a conversation back and forth there in character. He just goes, I don't know, man. If I had to guess, she probably would have like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that now. The poor guy's already dead. Fuck that
It's
conversation.
gonna hurt now.
No, it's not like he's going to care.
Poor bastard. Okay, listen.
Okay.
He was there talking. He had no real
He was
enemies.
in business.
He was doing business. He was there with a Gauthier. I can tell you that much.
With Gauthier.
Yes. He was talking to a Gauthier that night.
Okay.
Gauthiers are some of
If
our
we're
biggest,
talking-
purchasers. Because
I get you. So it wouldn't do them much good to take him out, especially in a public display.
No, the Gauthiers used to kind of be known as the hot-headed gang in town, but they calmed down a lot post, everything kind of finding a place and settling in.
What was his wife's maiden name? Actually, let's instead of having you to work that out, was she a part of any of the other, like, the families that are?
Oh no. She was from Atlantic City, originally, I think.
Okay. I was just thinking maybe
Nah, she moved down
Yeah,
here
well-
like 5-8 years ago, somewhere around there, and they met a couple years after, about a month or two after she came down, got married a year later. Good couple.
because like out of character. My thinking is possibly as a twist, this has absolutely zero things to do with like moonshining, prohibition, crime, and just like is totally like unrelated. But it's just the person was in the wrong place, wrong time, something went down. So trying to narrow those down, thinking like if this was like a prime time mystery like movie or something, what would this be?
What would this be if I was writing this?
What would this be if this is a Lifetime original mystery? But
If this is an
but
Agatha
in-
Christie book.
but in an anthropomorphic animal world.
Yes.
What would this be? Yeah.
If
Okay.
this was an Agatha Christie book, how would she twist it?
There would definitely be poison.
Oh yeah, 100%.
See, I was thinking Murder She Wrote because
That's
'cause
also
those are
true,
crazy.
Yeah, those are all. That's also true. Yeah, that's right.
Those are crazy.
Those are
By
out
the way,
there.
that woman is totally a mass murderer.
Oh yeah,
like-
absolutely. Yeah.
Like, yeah. The woman in Murder She Wrote, she's the killer because
Hmm.
nobody has that many deaths happen around her. She's the Grim
You mean
Reaper.
Jessica Fletcher is a killer.
Yes.
Because
She was on a bus trip to like another
Yeah, somebody just
another state
died.
or something like that, and the bus driver was murdered while they were at a stop.
like she can't stop herself. And the only reason she hasn't been caught is there's this incompetent sheriff that somehow likes her.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm just going to put it out there, okay? If it's not Not just a Fletcher, that Angela Lansbury's got a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
True.
That needs to be a rewrite of like a sequel. It's just like no wait, no, like DNA evidence has like exonerated everyone. What is
the old woman that points the finger?
Yeah.
The multi-millionaire that makes mystery novels her way of life.
Yep.
The FBI just comes away. How did nobody get this?
How did nobody ask the question?
Yeah. How is that the first thing?
Yeah.
How is that the first thing when she goes to like on a movies or a video game development like stage for a VR game? Somebody dies. It's like she just shows up. She's nowhere near her hometown. She just shows up.
Nobody knows. Nobody gets it. But it happens.
It's either that or she's cursed.
Oh yeah, like we're talking like
Like,
old school
it's like-
cursed.
yeah.
Like we're talking like that shit's so cursed that you should not be within 100
spit
yards
on a
of her.
gypsy.
Oh yeah.
Like there's something. She spit
on
she
something.
She spit on somebody that had power.
Yep. She stepped in something and now, well, she's fucked now.
A voodoo curse has been cast upon her and she cannot get away from it.
Nope, absolutely not. But anyway, back to the game.
Back to the game.
Yeah. So, we're not sure. Prior to that, I don't have much information other than he was there meeting with a Gauthier to discuss a pricing deal on some new booze we had brewed up. That's basically all we got for you.
Is with the I want to ask questions.
Ask questions.
Roach wants to ask questions because Roach is good at mysteries and likes mysteries. She wants to solve mysteries, but Lucy,
let go your inner detective.
Your inner nerd.
Ask those questions.
Let the inner nerd out.
Before Rival gets on a plane, flies across to Illinois, and beats the crap out of Roach for not asking the questions.
like, okay, my question is, so primarily the alcohol that's served in Bellegarde.
Yeah. Bellegarde, yeah.
my brain
Bellegarde.
my brain and mouth wanted to say Belgrade so much there I had to stop myself.
Yep.
But Belgrade. So the alcohol is primarily consumed in like, or at least like dealt in this city. Is it local brew or is there imports going? Because we're on the Gulf Coast.
Yes, we are on the Gulf Coast. So there's a lot of imports from
Caribbean
Cuba.
rum.
Yeah, Caribbean rum is a big thing. The Amethyst Eye is the only place in town that's known to serve genuine, like, actually imported Caribbean rum because it's so expensive to get in. There's a lot of...
My thought is there a new smuggler kind of starting to, like, make waves and, like, they're making a message? Because if that's the only place that Caribbean rum is sold in the city, if there's a new importer or something like that, they're making... You know, they're like, you're not safe anymore.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a
There's
thing.
also like lots
It's like-
of, you know, Mexican beer and tequila, that sort of stuff around here. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And so I'm just wondering, is that like what's primarily like? Is there anybody making waves like that? Is there new brewers, new groups that are trying to like make feelers or lay down, you know, inroads?
There's not really been much on our end.
That they would know of, I guess.
We've been pretty consistent here. There's not really been much in the way of people trying to get into our market. Bellegarde isn't really a massive, you know, it's not fucking Georgia, you know. It doesn't have this Atlanta. It doesn't have a big population base. It's a big city for what it is, but it's not a massive like industrial hub or, you know, social hub. It's very much a city built on artistry and performance and music and stuff like that. So there's not like necessarily a massive population center here.
It's a throughway.
Yeah, as big the city is, there's a lot of people who come in and out here.
Yeah, if it was based off New Orleans in the early 1900s, and it's a throughway. It's the road. Well, I guess road. It's the way to get to the Mississippi.
Yes.
The Mississippi is the way to get to the rest of the central part of the country.
Yep.
It's the easiest, quickest way in a lot of cases. Because if you're trying to go any other coastline, you're trucking over land, and it's a pain.
Yes.
So you can get a boat, just go straight up Mississippi. Well, not really, but you can. It's easier.
It's easier.
So
It's less annoying for sure.
Yes, there's a lot of infrastructure, but there's but it's just what can be used to support the infrastructure and the, at this point, moderate tourist industry that exists.
Yeah. And the somewhat growing population from all the industry and the boom and stuff like that, obviously, but it's not shooting up.
Not as much. That's 1940s.
Yeah.
Because it was the war.
Oh,
It's easier to make things near the port and then ship it out quicker.
Yeah. There's been some movement around town, but you know, there's the usual sort of stuff. There's the guy making stuff out of his basement. Nothing big, you know?
Bathtub wine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm trying to think of different angles.
Yeah. I've not got much. I mean,
It's just not a lot to go off of.
not right now.
Yeah.
And I
there's
can get
not
this feeling we've not asked the right question.
yeah, it's the iRobot thing.
Yeah,
My responses are limited. Must ask the right questions.
You asked the right questions.
Tuh.
Not helpful.
Funny, not helpful.
Yeah.
Go T-pose in the corner.
That, Detective Spooner, is the right question. But you didn't answer it, though.
All right, you got a number or anything I can call in case I start making some connections and maybe need a little extra information?
Sure. And he reaches into a pocket and pulls out a business card and gives it to you.
I do the same back so that he's got my number.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm trying to intake calories because I haven't eaten today.
Sorry.
Do you have... Yeah, food. I know.
It's
a weak
important.
biological person.
Yeah, it's important, you see. Food.
Yeah. Do you have contact information? Well, one, do we just generally have contact information for kind of the major crime families that all are in the city?
I think you just need to make a right phone call and you get pretty much put through to whoever. It's
Well, we don't have a lot of
really
pull.
well.
I'm asking, these guys are suppliers.
Them? The Pillar Gang? They'd have contacts, but not necessarily phone information. They'd know,
Yeah, just information on how to get in contact with things. I was thinking like the next big step would be to contact like the big players and try and like work out.
Yeah, so like
we're playing for a neutral third party, so we have to work out we have to look through all angles, really.
yeah, so like the Job thinks for a moment. That Gauthier that he was speaking to that day, I know he's our usual contact with the Gauthiers. Hang on. And he like goes over to what you assume is his lunchbox and like shuffles around in it for a bit and pulls out what looks like a slightly worn down older business card and goes, yeah, this is his, and holds it out to Bullet.
I was gonna say 1920s. You'd know it's a lunchbox because it's one of those big honking metal ones because it's the old insulation to keep things cool and everything. It's
Probably
not- it doesn't look
poisonous.
anything like anything. Yeah, probably lead lined. Yeah, honestly, or the paint is at least.
Yep.
Alright, well maybe I'll give him a call and see what he knows.
Let him know that I gave you the details.
I'll do that.
You got any other questions?
No, like I said, we'll keep looking into it, and if we hear anything, I'll be in touch.
Shake the tree a bit, see what falls out.
No worries. And he gives you a nod and goes back to work.
And we leave.
Cool.
And now I have no freaking clue what to do.
Well,
I can go and talk to the Gautier or...
yeah, I was gonna say that'd be the next major one I would think of because like they're there, the closest person, probably.
I'm starting to think this has nothing to do with the gangs, though.
I'm thinking it does, but it's not as apparent. Like, maybe it is gang related, but it's not like it's not the gangs like it's individuals within the gangs that have bad blood. It's not the gangs themselves, so maybe it's like a sub faction or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's like you know, I'm trying to think, you know, how in like Breaking Bad,
like yeah,
cartels were a big organization, but then you had the Salamancas and you had Frang that were fighting each other under the cartels, so it was like a sub thing. So could be something like that.
What is Breaking Bad? Says someone walking past listening to your conversation, and he hears Breaking Bad. He's like, "Is that one of those? Is that one of those radio dramas?"
No, because those haven't been invented yet.
I know.
No, they would have been a couple of years back.
Them kids and their radio dramas doing nothing.
Yeah, actually, yes, it would have been. Yeah, the youngsters are the ones who are really into those.
Yep.
All those youngsters, and also like they're you know using paper instead of chalk and slate.
Yep.
Real thing. Old people are all, no matter what, always complaining about the young generation. We're gonna do it too.
I mean, I already do it. You guys have heard.
I do too.
You guys have heard the new generation slang, and I'm like, come on, we can't have been that bad, can we?
No, we were.
We were. Oh, okay.
We were. Remember, Leet Speak was us.
That's true.
Yeah, Leet Speak was us. Arguably worse.
I mean, I don't know on that one. But anyway, that's a debate for the philosophers to have, not for me. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, 100 years from now.
Yeah. Listen, philosophers, if you're listening back to this and I'm still alive, contact me and tell me if the millennial slang is worse than the Gen Z slang and let me know.
And if he's not alive, then I'll be frozen somewhere. And you can just thaw me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say we talk to that person.
Sure.
We invented text speak.
This is true. The shorthand thing. LOL
It's
and
true.
STFU and stuff like that.
Enduring as well.
Yes,
An
that's
incredibly
endured.
Enduring thing.
Yeah.
It's enduring. It's like I don't remember what it was. Like I was talking. There was a historical like book or something I read, and that's like in 1,000 years, the only accomplishments that's going to be remembered by anybody from the 20th century is going to be the person who landed on, or the first person to walk on the moon and the first person to walk on Mars. And I'm thinking the other one's going to be LOL.
Yes. More than likely, which is depressing to say.
Yeah.
Or because we had a character count.
Yes. And it was difficult to type on those old fucking phones too. Anyway.
Charged by the character.
Indeed.
So yeah, I think, do you agree, Bullet? Just go and talk to that person and try and make, like, I guess, get a basis of what they were up to that night. The one that the victim was talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the name already of what.
Yeah, I just called him Gauthier.
No, they didn't give you a name. They just gave the Gauthier that they were talking to.
Yeah.
The Gauthier. Yeah. Which we have the card to now.
Yes.
We have the old card to.
Actually,
we can talk to them.
The name is on the
Unless they've
card,
gone
which
underground.
makes a lot of sense. You know, it check out.
Right. It would.
Yeah.
It might be an alias, but yeah, we could use that at least.
Name would have been good, yeah.
Yeah.
The name on the
Or
card is
species.
well. The name on the card is Jerry Vanska. The two A's have umlauts over them, 2 dots over them. I think that's it's either sweet. I think it's Danish that has the two dots over the A. I believe. Vaska, I believe it's pronounced. Vanska.
Take your word for it. I'm American.
I'll take your word for it. I've only been to Poland once.
That's rare.
Oh, Red, just so you know, next year we're going to Poland.
Okay.
I need goulash.
Goulash is so good.
Sounds like a nice
Polish
vacation.
goulash is amazing. I did not eat it every meal that we were allowed to eat a hot meal while we were doing that thing last year.
No, you didn't. You definitely did, though.
Yeah. So eat it for every meal.
By the way, funny thing about cravings, I've been having a craving for a drink for the past like 4 months. I couldn't figure out what it was. I couldn't remember what it was. I just remember the taste, and I was like, I'm craving this taste. And I figured it out last night, or last week. I was thinking about it. It was like, it's Iron Brew.
I'm not
From when I had it in Scotland, I just realized that it's Iron Brew, and it's just like, I'm craving that. Fuck, I'm craving Iron Brew. And I just realized
it's amazing, isn't it?
I can't physically get it.
Which is why we will arrange for a care package of just a dozen bottles of Iron Brew, which will
Get
last
to me and
all
it's
about
totally
30
flat. I can get really flat Iron Brew. Like I can get that easy.
Yeah, that's not too hard to get. See, it's the carbonated stuff that's difficult to get.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess we'll talk to this individual, or at least like
We'll try and find this individual.
call, see maybe they got a secretary or.
Yeah, so
Or
you
not.
find a nearby the payphone.
Payphone. Yeah.
Yes, nearby
Yeah,
payphone.
well, those things used to exist, ladies and gentlemen. For cell phones.
They still
Yep.
kind of do here. There's a few places that have them.
Yeah, you have to walk about 12 miles to find one here.
Yes. So you head to a nearby payphone. You call the operator and you have them forward you. The phone rings and then you hear it. Hello, Mr. Vanska speaking.
It's Jake Bullet.
Whom?
Jake Bullet.
Yes, that's your name. What's your profession?
PI.
Ah. And there's a very much...
That Jake Bullet.
Not just that, not Jatthake Bullet. He doesn't seem to recognize your name. He seems to be like, oh, I get it now.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Mr. Bullet, I assume you want to speak to me about the incident the other night?
That would be correct. Do you have a spare 15, 20 minutes to meet up somewhere and just answer a couple of questions?
Sure, meet me on,
Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
in half an hour.
meet me here
No,
at half an hour.
give me a corner.
Meet me
a corner.
on
I had to give that shit all the time when I ran this system. You gotta come on.
Meet me on 12th and Spaniard.
That works.
You know 12th Spaniard?
Yeah.
Do you
It's the
know
one with a nice sandwich shop on the opposite corner.
will be the
No, the Polish one.
they sell goulash?
No, it's a sandwich shop. So it's like it's
Good Polish sausage.
yeah.
It's not goulash.
Jake is just really annoyed about the lack of goulash.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Basically meat.
It's also Rival getting a brain thing about goulash.
Cravings.
Honestly, the only reason I said Polish was because you mentioned Poland earlier. I would have said, I could have said anything. Sandwich shop.
To the Bulletmobile.
Doodle-doo-doo.
No, we're not calling it that.
That's in
To the
character.
Wolfwagon.
Nope. His name is Bucephalus.
To the
and that is his
canine
name.
car.
That is technically correct.
Yeah, that's correct. Oh, I got rival again.
I am technically a canid.
To the Canaan mobile.
Yeah. Lucy will drive to the location.
Sorry.
So that
Jake can't talk to you the
Please,
entire
Can we
time.
try and stop killing Rival? That would be great.
stop being so easy. Stop making it so easy. That's the answer.
My jaw hurts from laughing.
The canine car, that's freaking gold, that is.
Thank you, Dad. Anyway, so you guys arrive at 12th and Spaniard. It's not busy. It's after the, you were already kind of in the mid-afternoon anyway by the time you were talking to Aces. It was some odd time in the evening when you were talking to the doctor. Now it's getting a bit late. The sandwich store is closed, but you can see there is a light on because people obviously live upstairs in the store. That's their home. The place that you've been told to meet is just across the street from you guys. People heard you before you saw them, so there is two people standing on the street corner. The Gauthier's gang are identifiable largely because of the fact that they wear a lapel pin that is of the French flag that has an extra fleur-de-lis in the middle of it.
Well, a fleur-de-lis because the
Yeah.
French flag doesn't have one.
Which
At
French
this
flag
point.
am I thinking of that has a fleur-de-lis in it? Is it one of the old ones?
Yeah, you're thinking of the Bourbon.
Yeah, like the one
crown
from years ago. Anyway,
you're thinking of the ones from like the early 18, like the pre-Napoleon, and then the like 20 years in between when like before the second Napoleon. Like,
I mean that would also kind of work because it's like, oh, we don't want to use the Napoleon flag because
it's not the Napoleon flag. I did a video about this on in my actual job. Tricolor is the only French flag has only changed twice since the end of the original crown.
Actually, the tricolor.
The tricolor, yes.
They changed twice, and one of those was only for a week. Technically,
that does sound like the French.
Yeah, the other one was pure white as well. Like that's not a joke. That's the flag. It's a white flag.
I mean,
so.
Yeah, so they're using one of the old flags of France, I'm going to say, because that makes sense for the Gauthiers.
Oh, so like a blue field with a gold fleur-de-lis?
Yeah, multiple fleur-de-lis on it.
Okay. That's like Quebec or something like that, which also would work.
I mean, a lot of the French in Louisiana are French-Canadian. Or they were French-Canadian.
Mustn't make the joke.
Lots of geese here.
Yeah, I was assuming we were getting to that.
Yeah. No.
Nope. I'm not going to do the joke, Red. I'm not doing it. You can't make me.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Weak. No, yeah, the Quebec flag is a white cross, blue corners with white fleur-de-lis in each corner.
They keep the gold fleur-de-lis because it's more French. So yeah, there's two people standing there. You see the lapel pins on them. They are looking at you guys. They recognize that this is probably who they were supposed to wait for, given the giant motor vehicle.
I guess you're waiting for us.
I suppose so.
So I understand you were meeting with an associate about merchandise pricing.
Are these the people we're here to talk to, or are they supposed to take us to the person we're talking to?
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking, and then they'll tell me one way or another.
Do y'all two need a moment?
No.
Yes,
Yes.
Come with us. You can park your car around the corner.
Lucy does greet them in French because she knows French, but it is horribly.
They wince. They visibly wince.
She's a really bad accent because she does speak in a transatlantic English accent, so that kind of translates to the French, and it just does not mesh.
There's a visible wince of pain in both of them when you speak to them. And then once you park your car, you get out. They go this way, and they open a door on what looks like a normal everyday house just on the street. They walk in, and you follow them. It probably was a normal house at one point, but it looks like it's been converted into like a storage room for a lot of liquor and booze, and there's some what looks to be maybe some other illegal substances. We're not sure. In boxes in the corner.
Walking by without paying attention to it because I'm not here about that.
It's a devil weed.
Some of that green stuff. They take you up the stairs to the next room, which is much more still like a normal sort of house layout. Looks like they've moved the kitchen up here. There's a couple of rooms, and then they knock on a door. Come on in. And they open the door for you guys, and they hold it open. And in there you see the individual you're looking for.
Walk up to him, hold out my hand. Jake Bullet, private investigator.
He stands up and takes your paw. Mr. Vassy.
This
pleasure.
My associate Lucy.
Madam.
I drive.
Please take a seat.
Goose as well.
No, he's a. What is he?
Meerkat.
Think of another French animal. Another French animal. Yeah, come on.
He's a porcupine.
All right. So the way I understand it, you were meeting with the victim the night he died
That's correct.
to discuss business.
Yeah, we were discussing adjustments to prices. He was driving a fair bargain. It was a little bit of an uptick, but things are getting more expensive in general. So
Okay, and there was no issues with the negotiations beforehand, anything like that?
we worked with the Pillar Gang for a long time now, and he's been our sort of go-to negotiator. He's always been fair. When things were difficult on us, he'd always knock the price down. When we were in a boom, we'd tell him no, we pay him more, and you know, it's a
good working relationship.
Yeah, it's a good working relationship. You know, we do our best to make sure that the people who look after us are looked after. You know.
Appreciate that. Do you know of anyone who didn't like the way he practiced his business?
Professionally,
Professionally.
he thinks for a few moments and goes, "Nah, no one that I can think of. No one in the Gauthiers had any issues with him. Nah, nothing I can think of."
Any rumors of anything against the Pillar Gang?
The Pillar Gang are one gang that we don't really have any way interacting with, given that, you know, they are everywhere. And they're not organized in the same way we are. You know, we have our organizational chart, and I report to someone who reports to someone who reports to someone. However, in the case of the Pillar Gang, you could consider them more like a loose group of cells who sort of work together.
Right, so we got a whole lot of nothing at the moment then.
I mean, here's what I can tell you. I've had a few feelers put out. I don't like the fact that not only was someone killed while I was meeting with them, but they were killed in the Amethyst Eye, and that's just bad for everyone's business. The gunman was not hired by the Gauthiers, the O'Shaughnessy's, or the Parisians. I can tell you that on my word, however much that might be worth to you.
Well, right now everyone's on the same side, so worth a fair amount. Plus, it's given freely.
I don't gain anything by making your life any harder in this situation.
Well, you think of anything you need to ask Lucy? You or your alter ego?
Turns out Lucy's schizophrenic.
She's got enough names for it.
True. Lucy's just the current id who's winning.
No, nothing's doesn't. We don't really have anything to like go off of. Like there's a part of the quest that hasn't been like that isn't unlocked because we haven't actually like right clicked the item or the like the bit in the crime scene. Like we missed that little red spot in the Witcher vision, and now we can't find it. So I don't know. It's like because I can't think of anything that would be.
That's my problem as well.
Yeah, there's.
Both of you make me a mind questioning roll. And if you have Streetwise, you can add that. Alternatively, you can make a mind presence with Streetwise.
What was the first one? Mind what?
Questioning.
Questioning.
Mind questioning, mind presence. I'll do mind presence.
Q. And you can add Streetwise to that if you have it.
I don't.
I do. I don't have questioning. That's strange.
Yeah, I don't have
think you
questioning
would.
either.
Yeah, questioning's not on my mind trait.
PIs, like in this genre, though, not necessarily detectives. More so like, you know, how John McClane is a detective.
One success.
One success. Cool.
That's a 5 and a 2, so
One success.
one success.
Cool. So the two of you think about it for a moment, and then you realize he only said two of the gang's names. He didn't mention two gangs' names. He didn't mention the Muldoons or the... Sorry, he said O'Shaughnessy, he said Gauthier, and he said Parisians. He didn't mention the Muldoons or one other one, I believe. Let me double check that. I have my notes here.
Didn't mention the Lombardis.
The Lombardis, that's right. The Lombardis or the Muldoons, he did not mention as people who he knows for sure did not hire this gunman.
I guess that's the question. You have any word on the Muldoons or Lombardis?
The Muldoons, they don't like talking, even at the best of times. I asked to talk with a liaison. They told me no. The Lombardis, they're usually a little bit more talkative, but they didn't show up to the meeting. And since then, we've not heard anything from them.
Anything interesting before that? Between any of those? Like anything out of the ordinary? Shake-ups?
The Muldoons are always... The Muldoons are by far the most aggressive gang in town. Still wanting to throw hands, still wanting to have a great time, still wanting to get into fights on the street, but most other gangs ignore them because it's just posturing, you know? The Lombardis are a lot more underhanded, even for a gang, for their methods. The last time we had any kind of interaction with the Lombardis in a turf situation, they killed 3 of our men using garrote wires and strung them up outside the building. So if they had any, if there was a pair of gang who maybe have wanted to try and stir up some shit, it'd be those two.
And just a question for the Muldoons, if they've been saying they still want to scrap and fight and be aggressive and everything, have they been less aggressive to anybody in particular lately? Over the last, let's say, month?
That is a great question, Roach.
I'm telling you, this game is made for me. I love mysteries. But I made a character is useless at mysteries.
So he thinks for a moment. He like leans back in his chair.
The rare question mark roll.
No. Actually. They're still picking fights with everybody. Anyone who enters their turf who's not affiliated with them. Obviously, if you're not affiliated at all, they try not to annoy you because they know who pays their rent. But they've been...
So they haven't been...
They've been as angry with us as ever.
Okay. They haven't been less aggressive towards anybody.
Nope.
Okay. Not as useful as information then. Because they were less aggressive. That would have been a change up of their pattern, which could have led to somewhere.
As for the Lombardis, you'd have to talk to one of their members to find something out there. They don't like talking through. They don't like giving their opinion to other crew. They tell everyone what they are, and that's it. So the only person who could probably tell you what the Lombardi situation is someone in the Lombardi organization. As for the Muldoons, I'd be prepared to fight for that information. They won't just give it to you for free. They want you to earn it. And a lot of the times, the only way to earn anything from a Muldoon is to break his teeth.
Oh, that's... I guess 2 leads, possibly?
One more difficult than the other.
But also, like, not good leads.
Honestly,
It's just like it's 2 leads, but both of them don't really necessarily have anything actually connection with what happened. They're just the ones that we don't have any info for. It's more like just blank spots on the case board.
Big old red
Alright,
question
let's go.
mark.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the madam. Maybe she's heard something. I don't want to go running around the whole of the city chasing ghosts and supposition. We need something solid.
Do you have PI?
Yeah, I'm also a person who's not going to run around all over the city.
Okay.
It's been lovely talking to you.
Thought wolves like chasing things.
Yeah, when the chase is actually fun, this is not fun. And anyway, if I do catch them, I don't get to eat them.
You know what? I'm not going to comment on that, he says behind the desk. It's been a lovely time talking to you two. However, if you would mind, I have business to attend to, please. I need to
Of course.
get to work.
We get up, we leave.
Cool.
We leave a card with him.
Oh, I do that everywhere I go.
He takes
Okay.
your card and puts it onto like the stack of cards he has on his desk for like talking to people. He's one of those like
Goes in the Rolodex.
yeah, Rolodex things.
Also used to be a thing.
Yeah. You head back
I
outside.
miss Rolodexes.
You head back outside. Car is still there. In one piece.
Yeah, I like Rolodexes as well. The same reason I like having physical rulebooks, even though I have PDFs. Sometimes it's just easier to find things physically.
Sure. So yeah, your car is still there. It's still in one piece. One of the Gauthier guards dead next to it. He steps back away from it when you arrive.
I guess we go back to the Amethyst Eye.
Basically.
Sure.
That's the only thing I can
Ace,
think of.
what are you up to?
I've probably started second job by now.
Sure. So you're in the speakeasy, which is run, if I remember correctly, that I said last time, was run by the Gauthiers.
O'Shaughnessy's.
The O'Shaughnessy's, correct. So the O'Shaughnessy speakeasy is known as the Ireland's Eye. The O'Shaughnessy's are an Irish gang. There's one in every fucking city in America. They're very nice people. They're quite energetic, and they're very friendly to have someone off the street who's willing to pour drinks for people. The security knows you. They let you in. Your shift has started. So what are you doing?
So I assume I'm rather than a bartender, I'm a waitress.
Yes.
So I will be going around taking drinks orders. But as I do, I will be chatting to regulars, seeing what I can pick up. Because same as I was doing in the diner, I will be saying, "Oh, did you hear about the amethyst there?" sort of thing.
Yeah.
As I go round, because it's what, a Tuesday evening, so it's probably
It's relatively
super
quiet.
busy.
Yeah, it's relatively quiet for a Tuesday evening. For most,
But it's Bellegarde, so they are going to. They're always open.
yeah, everywhere's open in Bellegarde. So you go around and you're talking to people. So I want you to make me a. I'm gonna say a will questioning with streetwise or fast talk. Streetwise and fast talk, if you have both. Because, you know, you're, as much as you can probably stick around and talk to people, you know, gotta get that information out there quickly, you know? Because you gotta keep serving drinks. Otherwise, you don't get your tips. Ooh, it's a big roll. Oh, wow.
3 success.
3 successes, a 6, an 8, and a 5. A 6 on a d6, an 8 on a d8, a 5 on a d12, and a 3 on a d12. That's some good rolls there. So, as you're going around conning, you're not conning anyone, you're just talking to them. Speaking English is difficult. Conversating with people, communicating with people, and they're, you know, they know you, you know them. They're the regulars who are usually here this time of the week, who maybe work an odd shift, or maybe have like they work over the weekend, or maybe they're here in town every now and again. Maybe they're like traveling, or maybe they're delivery people, you know, that sort of thing. This is like their one day off, their one night off they get a week, sort of thing. And a lot of them actually haven't heard of the Amethyst Eye until you mention it, because some of them were out of town, some of them aren't too privy to the newest things happening. Some of them don't go drinking anywhere else, some of them stay here. But you for sure hear a couple of people mention the fact that they knew the victim. There is some belief that the victim has had. Basically, the Pillar Gang is always assumed to be a non-affiliated gang. They don't work with... A lot of their members have never got any previous... Have no previous ties to other gangs in town. However, there is some belief that the victim actually had previous ties with the Parisians. That there's some rumors going around that, didn't he like used to work for the Parisians or something? And they're like, nah, wasn't he Pillar Gang? Isn't their whole thing that they don't have any... I'm like, well, I'm sure I've like seen him in a Parisian uniform, or like wearing that pin that they wear, and they go, I don't know, man. It seems a bit weird, you know. And let's see, what else can you get? There is someone who sits around the corner who's kind of sitting quietly when you bring their drink over. It is the coyote that you had served food to the other day. He looks up and goes, "Oh, hi.
Well, hi there.
Nice to see you. Sorry I didn't come in for breakfast. Work kind of kept me busy."
What is it that you do?
Oh, I'm a cleaner.
All right then. You were quite nervous when you said that.
Yeah, you know. So that shooting at the Amethyst, I heard you were there.
I was. I didn't see much because I hid.
Smart.
I say I'm ashamed to say, but not really.
Mm.
I'm not.
That's fair. Hey, I mean, no one expects it. No one wants to be shot at. Not a good time. Though, if I remember correctly, there was some inquiry about information about the killer. Is that right?
Well, the nurse lady who runs it asked one or two of us if you could find out anything.
Right.
I say some things and I pick up some things.
Well, I happen to know that the area nearby that happens to be under Muldoon protection.
I don't. The only gang I really know anything about is the O'Shaughnessy here. So.
Well, don't worry about it. You know, this is something I think I'd said because I remember you were. I think a friend of mine mentioned that they seen you with that private eye. Bullet was his name, I think.
That's correct.
Maybe you can get that information to him.
I have a business card. I might be able to pass it along.
Oh, no, that's all I'm asking, miss. Thank you for the drink, and he leaves like $1 on the tray for you.
Thank you, sir.
At this point, he finishes his drink and he leaves.
As he goes, can I try and... I know he's a coyote.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like any specific markings that he has, or any scars, or anything that makes him...
Make
that
a
I'd remember?
Speed observation roll. Nice. One success. All right, so he doesn't really stand out that much. He's just a normal-looking, average-sized coyote. Doesn't have any particular eye color. Well, his eye color is normal. Like, he's not got heterochromia or gray eyes or anything that's particularly unique. Small thing, though, and you do notice this just as he's about to leave. He's got a nick in one of his ears that looked like almost like a perfectly shaped crescent. Like someone took like something that's shaped to like cut things in a semicircle and cut out a section of his ear.
Okay then.
Cute.
Can I ask either the bar manager or my favorite bartender
Right.
whether the guy who died ever made deliveries here?
Sure. Who is your favorite bartender?
Oh, he's in a previous Urban Jungle game. Let's say Christoph.
So Christoph is a fairly short, stocky, Wolfhound, or he's like the Corgi Wolfhound combo that originate in Sweden. If you've ever seen those pictures before, they're adorable. And he's cleaning a glass, you know, because he's not got much else to do, but he's got to look busy. So he looks up and goes, "Now that you mention it, yeah, I think he did. I think he dropped off like a case of what was it? Homemade tequila, I think. It's not bad stuff, actually."
Do we still have that box?
We might do. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I just want to know if there's anything interesting on it, like a if it's an old fruit crate, what type?
Let me take a look. And he goes into the back. He comes back after a couple of minutes and says, "Yeah, so it's just a normal looking wooden box. Doesn't have any particular markings on it. It's pretty well made though. Like it's currently sitting at the bottom of a stack of freshly delivered stuff from the other day. So whoever made it did a pretty good job."
Is that cracked or anything?
No, whoever made it did a pretty good job.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? There's a pillar gang. They're the ones assembling everything below us.
True, but I mean, sometimes you just gotta use the box you find.
That's true. That's true.
Thanks, Christoph. I'll get these drinks out.
No worries. And he goes back to cleaning the clean glass that he's been cleaning for like the last 10 minutes because there's nothing else to do. Cool. So we're about to get to our break, so we're going to go ahead and take it now. Everyone at home, feel free to stand up, stretch, go take a smoke break if that's your thing. Don't smoke, kids. And we will be back in 10 minutes with more Bellegarde Goodbye.
Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere. And if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch. And just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art import the component cast.
and you miss a dose, then it just goes like it's gonna feel 100 times worse than what you're feeling right now normally because you're used to normal thought processes. It kind of
Aren't we all?
it hits you hard.
It does. It does. It does. We were just talking about what it's like being on ADHD meds for the first time. Just ignore us. We weren't talking about anything too super serious. Don't worry about that. Anyway.
It's never super serious.
No. Anyway. Welcome back to the Component Cast. Apologies if the stream had a little hiccup there in the middle. I think I need to go through and fix some OBS settings that might be causing some issues for our stream. But it'll be a quick fix that I'll figure out after the stream is done. So, we had just finished up at Ace. The good doc is still not in.
Spirit was here with us for a little while.
Yes.
And then...
no worries, though. So, Lucy and Bullet, you guys are both heading to the Amethyst Eye. You arrived there, park up in the same place as you did yesterday. And the security doesn't even so much as like stop you guys from going straight in. You can just go straight in. And then when you come straight in, you see the bartender like give you a wave over, like to come over to him.
Hi.
Yeah. So if you're looking for the madame, she's on the top floor. Just head on straight up.
Appreciate it. Up the stairs.
Up all the flights of stairs. So you guys head straight on up. The guy at the doorway. Sorry, for the doorway for the doorway to the flight of stairs for the third floor. Difficult to say. He opens the door, lets you guys on up. The third floor is like this super nicely laid out area. Has an incredibly nice like full band playing in the background. And it has like this big stage with everyone on it, and it has these really nicely laid out tables and chairs with like a small dancing dance floor, but people who are up there dancing are slow dancing. And there is a bar against the back wall that looks like it has all the fancy stuff on it, so you can see bottles of like actual bottles with labels and stuff on them that aren't, X's. It's actual branding. And you can see Madame straight away. She stands out being 6'7" and an alligator. She's wearing a very, very fancy dress. This time it's a red dress. Still wearing that same giant amethyst on the chain, on the necklace. Or, yeah, necklace, I suppose. And she sees you as you come up and raises her hand at you guys in, like, acknowledgement that you're there.
Is she like in conversation with other people?
Not currently. She's just listening to music.
Okay. I will approach.
Of course. She goes, Mr. Bullet, please take a seat. Miss Lucy, please take a seat. Can I get either of you darlings anything to drink?
You got coffee?
Indeed we do.
I'll take a black coffee. No sugar.
Miss Lucy?
I'll take whatever you got.
A surprise? Alright. And,
Drink driving, not a thing.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine after 6 or 7 cocktails. She raises...
Is this a communist country? An actual argument against it back in the day in the US?
It was the same argument against seatbelts. She raises her hand, and a waitress comes over, and she orders a black coffee for Bullet, and she orders a tequila sunrise for Lucy.
What's your alcohol tolerance like? Roll.
You'll find out. You'll find out real fucking quick.
Because if this is another episode of the Elven Cooking Wine, I don't think they do kebabs here.
I mean, they probably do. There's probably a street vendor somewhere nearby that does them.
It doesn't come up in game, but Lucy's backstory, she is from a very well-to-do family. Probably one of those families that just has wine like with every like meal as a thing. So like even when like she was totally underage for it, so it's like probably has had alcohol for a long time.
This Sauvignon Blanc is a beautiful breakfast wine.
Like so rich that there's people that get the wine and pour it.
So yes, she turns to you then after ordering her stuff and goes, "What can I do for you?"
Well, we've spoken to two gangs. One's involved in the actual transaction that was taking place in your bar downstairs. And it seems like the only people we can't seem to talk to are the Lombardis and the Muldoons without taking various steps which could cause issues to a lot of people.
It does sound like the Lombardis and the Muldoons. She rubs her chin. So, tell me what you do know.
Well, we know who the victim was working for. No one seems to be... Well, everyone seems to know about Paper Fish, which was found at various murder scenes, including this one. Which suggests... I don't want to use the term serial killer. Maybe assassin, but everyone just knows it as an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
We know who he was meeting. We have spoken to them. Doesn't seem to be any animosity between the two. In fact, he seems he was very well regarded as a negotiator. In fact, so far, the only person who actually seems to have any reason to kill him is his wife.
Have you talked to her?
It's more of a domestic thing rather than any kind of links to a public killing in the middle of a speakeasy.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I mean, hitmen exist for a reason.
Yeah, but how would she pay for it?
So...
Like, didn't someone in America, like, only a matter of, like, 10, 15 years ago, maybe, like, a guy got paid $500 to fucking be a hitman to kill someone? Something paltry like that.
People have killed for less. So, essentially, you're telling me that from what you've gathered, a lot of the gangs in town don't seem to have an incentive to kill this man. So for some reason, there was a body in my establishment for no discernible reason as of yet.
No discernible reason as of yet. The police are looking at a potential list of bodies killed in various ways with a certain calling card.
The fish, as you mentioned before.
The fish. But right now, giving you an update, unless you've got something else you can send us in another direction. I get the feeling we're asking all the right questions, but we're missing one. And I can't discern what it is, and neither can Miss Lucy.
Well, you have done your due diligence at least. I'll give you all the credit for that. I don't have very many friends in the Lombardis. They don't like me.
Doesn't seem like they like a lot of people.
You wouldn't be wrong on that one, Mr. Bullet. But what I do have is a regular who likes drinking here, likes the music, who is a lieutenant in the Muldoons.
I'll take it.
I suspected as much. He's not here today, and I wouldn't want to spring this on him on short notice. It'd be disrespectful on my behalf to jump that on one of my guests.
Absolutely.
So, I will send him a letter, let him know that you and a few cohorts will be meeting him here under my protection on this floor at, let's say, 11 p.m.
I appreciate that.
Of course, no worries. Have you taken a look around near here? See if there's any kind of information?
That's the next thing on my list. A little bit of canvassing.
Okay. At this point, your coffee and your cocktail arrives. The coffee is smells quite good.
Most coffee does.
Yes. Even the bad coffee smells quite good.
Yes.
And the tequila sunrise is put in front of you. It's this bright, like, yellow to orange alcoholic beverage that changes color, transitions upwards, and there's like a slice of lime in it. Tastes like fruit juice. Definitely he's alcoholic though.
I assumed.
Yes. Very good cocktail. So yes, I'll put those feelers out. You guys feel free to sit here and enjoy your beverages with me. I'm not gonna kick you out just after you've got your drinks. How is the doctor and that little miss doing?
The little miss is working a different angle. She works at a speakeasy a little ways from here in the evening.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Keeping her ear to the ground while keeping herself out of trouble. The doctor... Yeah, heard the term slippery as a snake.
Well,
I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore.
As someone who happens
to
to have a bit of a saying about tears, I have heard it.
Yep. Well, the doctor is personification, but seems to be a well put together and thought out person, so I'm sure we can rely on him for information when he has it and medical expertise when we need it.
Good. And Benoît, has he been helpful?
I'd like to know how he knew where I'd be 20 minutes after I got there.
I don't ask Benoît questions on his on his sources. That'd be poor work of me.
But he put us on to a line of questioning we hadn't considered yet, so he's doing his job.
Good. Good. I'm glad that he's helpful.
Well, anyway, madame, don't interrupt your day anymore. Slap my coffee down.
She raises a glass of red wine to you.
Miss Lucy, if you're staying, I'll hopefully see you tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's interesting.
Well, I gotta get back to work. I'm going back outside to campus.
Sure. Lucy, you're just going to stay up here and drink all night with the madame?
Yeah.
Yeah? Fair enough.
Yeah, it sounds her.
Fair enough. Okay. I'm going to need you to make dice rolls.
Cool.
Right. I'm going to need you to make a...
What and how many?
Lots of shots. Lots of cocktails. Well, I'm not going to say you need to use your wealth for this because the madame won't make you pay for all of your drinks, if you know what I'm saying. She's like, don't worry, I'll get this one, my dear. You know, like, she's very gracious with you.
The wealth trait can be used to buy things that are like hundreds of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
In that money, so she wouldn't.
There's a lot of
run out.
expensive stuff on that shelf behind her, especially given that it's imported. Make a body endurance with a...
That's great.
Is there any gifts you could use for this?
I have gifts, coward, danger sense, wealth, driving, team player, and luck.
Nothing you have. Coward would be funny, but no, you can't use coward in this situation, unfortunately.
So
You might need luck.
You might need luck, and you might need your personality. What's your personality?
My personality is reckless.
Oh, that would work if you want to use that as well. 100%.
What does that do?
Gives you an extra
Do not
D12.
have Ooh, okay, yeah.
And you can
that
claim
can
it
do
once
that.
per in-game day. So technically, if you're going to get drunk now, you won't be doing anything until tomorrow anyway.
Cool.
So if it's time to use it, it's now.
And what does luck do?
Luck lets you
luck
re-roll
does?
it.
Luck is a. Yeah, you can re-roll any dice, but that is a session.
Yeah, so you only do it once
So
per
you
session.
can't. It's once per session.
Yeah, so once you use luck, you can't use it again for the session. But you can use... Basically, when you wake up tomorrow, probably incredibly hungover, you can use your personality again.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to use body endurance reckless, which means I get a D4 for the body, nothing for endurance, and a D12.
Cool.
Uh,
Hopefully you roll a 4 and a 12, because it would be funny.
it would be funny. Which that is a 4
Oh,
on the D4.
cool.
A 4 and a 5.
So 2 successes.
If I max out a die, it's 2 successes, right?
No, it's just that if it's for like conflict. So if you were rolling this roll against, say, somebody else making a fighting roll against you, you would win with a 12 no matter what, basically, unless they also had a D12
Yeah.
and
Oh,
rolled
yeah.
a 12.
There's no exploding
No.
system in here, is there?
No, there is
Yeah,
not.
okay.
Once you
I'm
roll
thinking of kids on bikes.
once you roll the highest number, you've essentially succeeded no matter what, more or less, as long as you go up against someone else who doesn't also roll a 12.
So yeah, D4 got a 4 and a 5, so 2 successes.
2 successes. So you're drinking into the late night with the madame. She gets a bit she gets a bit blushy after like 2 in the morning, and she heads on home. Offers you a lift because she's getting a taxi. If you feel like you need one, you do not feel like you need one, but you're definitely not sober anymore.
Yeah, but it's the 1920s.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Cool. So we're gonna leave that. We're gonna put a pin in that and go straight to Rival. You head on
Be right
out.
back.
You head on outside downstairs. So you're doing canvassing around the area, right? Cool. And since you heard from Lucy about the information about the people nearby who were working under the lats of the
Yeah.
the ground,
Street.
basically the street, yeah, you kind of know a general area to check. So I'm going to say you can make a mind observation with Streetwise and a bonus D6. Because you have a general area to go to.
With a D6?
Yes, you got a bonus D6 to it.
How do I do that?
So at the
What
bottom...
extra dice?
There you go.
And was it just D6?
Yeah, just a D6. I should roll it. Oh, nice. Nice.
3 successes.
Very good, very good. Highest roll of a 7. You rolled a 1 on the D12. That's a... Whew, unfortunate on that one. Okay. So, you go around looking. And you've done this all before. You understand the general, like, methodology of people who have killed. You know, first time it's always sloppy. They usually leave something behind, even though they might have planned it out if they're a killer or if this, serial killers. The first one's always the one that it's the easiest to sort of ascertain, let's say a tell or information on, and it usually gets harder after that because they've done it and they're no longer as jittery. As you're exploring, you find there's a smell of gunpowder that you pick up on really easily. And as you start to smell the gunpowder, you feel a few drops of rain start to land. And then seconds later, it's like a downpour. Like, I mean, it's coming down so hard that it's bouncing off of the wood. The drops are just bouncing off of the wood. Now, thankfully, being in Bellegarde, it's designed for that sort of thing around here. They know that they live in an area where it's going to rain a lot, where there's going to be a lot of water during the wet season, especially in the summer where it rains heavily. So there's like slots in the road that lets it drop down into the sort of swamp and rivers that are around, so it can flow out into the sea easier. The smell of gunpowder, however, doesn't go away to you because you got a latch on it. You know, it's in your nose now. You know where it is, and as you're going around, you come to a corner that's maybe a block and a half away from where the amethyst eye is, and there is a support pillar that's coming out of the ground that you know will go straight down into the swamp below you. That it sinks. They all sink. Every couple of years, there's one added to it to keep everything propped up. You can smell the gunpowder from this pillar. And so you start checking for a compartment. Maybe there's a cutout. Maybe there's something that you can check on. And you knock on the wood, and then you hear a solid, then a thunk of hollow. And you very quickly find like a seam that you open up with a hand, and in there is a firearm. A .44 revolver.
I take out a handkerchief
Mm-hmm.
and pick it up.
Yep.
Basically work the slide to see if it's got a round in there, that kind of thing.
So you twist the chamber, and you can see that there is a full chamber of bullets, but you see that when you twist it, the one that was in the firing position has been fired. The what's it called? The cap at the back of the at the back of the round has been expunged.
Yeah. Okay, I wrap it up in the handkerchief and tuck it inside the pocket on the inside.
Cool.
And then go back to the compartment, see if I can find anything else.
Would there be anything else in there? There's a box of ammo.
Yoink.
That's it. Box is half full.
Yeah. Okay, so we take the box, take the pistol, close the thing up, make my way nonchalantly and discreetly back towards the amethyst eye.
Mm-hmm. At this point, the rain's coming down harder. It's kind of difficult to see, but you know where you're going.
With the rain coming down that hard, my wolf-like senses are on alert for anything suspicious, like someone following me or someone about to ambush me. Because I've been in Roach's things too many times. I don't trust anything anymore.
Fair. Well, since you're being observant, go ahead and make a mind observation just to see if there is anyone actually following you. It is, after all, late.
Streetwise.
Yeah, this is a criminal element. This would be a criminal element if there was someone following you.
3 successes.
Oh, damn. No, there's no one following you.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm not following you anymore.
They see you looking and they go, nope, not interested. No.
When I get back to the amethyst, I ask the barman if I can use the phone.
He's looking at you as drenched as you are and goes, yes, but also, and then he pulls out what looks like a towel and hands it to you.
Appreciate it.
He directs you to it's getting later now. It's probably close to 1 o'clock in the morning. So he directs you behind the stage where there is a phone built into the wall near where the dressing room is.
1 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
I didn't realize it was that time. I thought it was earlier than that. I don't think I'm going to try call Jenny at this time of night.
I mean, you can leave a message. There's always someone at the police office.
Yeah, okay. I'd call up and leave a message for Officer Josephine.
Yes.
To call Jake Bullet first thing in the morning.
Understood, sir. Message has been received and will be relayed.
Appreciate it. I then catch a cab back to my office.
Cool. Not that hard. There's plenty of cabs waiting outside for people, because it's a day in the week ending in Y and there's people drinking at the Amethyst Eye.
Oh, that was very well rhymed there. Good,
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I would give you the round of applause, but no one else would hear it.
I mean, I would imagine it. I'd enjoy it. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you. Now, good doctor with your great time. You've had a very busy day following the visitors who've showed up. There was someone who had a bad work accident. They had to be operated on. Thankfully, you've done a great job. They've pulled through and will pull through without any lasting injuries. The payment is made in full by the owner of the company who is there. That's kept you busy basically the entire rest of your day. It's now closing in on 9-ish p.m. The front of the practice is closed. Your receptionist has basically gone home. She's left the front door locked because she knows you prefer going out the back door anyway and getting, yourself out of there. All in all, day's been pretty good.
Fantastic. Now, where would a doctor go to after work? I know, a speakeasy. This one would probably be a little bit more upmarket.
Upmarket?
His
Cool.
social status.
Yeah. Somewhere near where you work. I'm gonna say you're going to a Parisian speakeasy. They're sort of known as like the second tier. Like if you go to the Amethyst Eye, that's where all the expensive stuff is. That's where all the best bands are. That's where all of the, real happening people are. But if you can't get into it because you need an invitation or a reference, or if you happen to be a little bit down in your luck compared to where you usually might be, you go to a Parisian speakeasy. They tend to have the best local bands, the best local musicians. They tend to have pretty good imported booze, but not the best. So you end up at the Guillotine's Chop is where you end up. It is a underfloor speakeasy, so when you go up to it, it looks like it's one of those, typical American basement entrances with the two double doors that open up. This guy opens it up, lets you in. You have to step down basically underneath the entire city. And while you're down there, you can see the entire city basically spread out across in front of you. So you can see like underground, what's it called? Underfloor, like cellars and storage areas and work areas. And then if you look down, you can see the swamps and the previous iterations of what had been Bellegarde. The town had sunk into the ground multiple times, been rebuilt on top of each other multiple times. However, you are then directed into the room to your right. And when you enter in there, it's basically one big room with a bar on the far end, a small, like, alcove band is sort of playing against one of the walls. So there's like a little sink into the wall where the band is playing. It's not a full-size, like, jazz band, but it's a good quartet. There's people around drinking. There's some dice games, some card games, and the usual selection of local and imported booze at the bar.
I'm going to make my way over to the bar.
Have you been here before?
I assume, actually, that this would be his local. He's not going to get into the Amethyst all the time. This would be his nightcap local.
This would be his watering hole. The bartender you recognize. The bartender is Faye Pedersen. Faye is a possum. She serves you your normal whatever you're looking. Well, she goes, "Hey, Doc, usual."
Yes, thank you kindly.
Coming right up, and she gets you your what is the good doctor's preferred drink of choice?
I'd say for like a nightcap, like a beer, because back then beer wasn't like loaded in the connotations of poorness necessarily. Like you could get good beers, so he'd get like lager. In fact, at the time, I'm sure in the 20s was the fancy beer, right?
Yeah.
Before Prohibition, you could get good beer. When Prohibition was in swing, you got homemade beer.
All right, no, that would be.
Well, this would be imported stuff from like Mexico. Will be what they have here, and Cuba and stuff like that. So if you're looking for a good beer,
But in North America, beer makers were in the U.S. and now they're not. So you'd get Mexican beer.
Yes.
You'd get light beer.
yeah, you get like a light ale.
I suppose,
I
yeah,
guess.
he'd go with a light beer usually. Like if he's drinking the good stuff, the real stuff, that's when he's like on a night out. This is a nightcap, so
This
I
is
think
a
it
I
still
need. This is
works.
a I've had a good busy day. I deserve a drink. You know. So yeah, she gets you a long neck bottle of Mexican import. She cracks it open and slices across the table to you. It is cold. It's easier to keep things cold actually down here, because there's not as many things down here constantly working. You know a lot of the, Faye has told you that a lot of the beer they keep is stored underneath the place. So like even though they're hanging already below, the storage room is even lower, basically. So it makes it even more sort of insulated from the heat that appears above the buildings. It's a nice beer. It's light. It's crisp. It's refreshing. It's different than what you would usually get, but maybe that's because they're waiting on a new wave of imports to come in. And in the bar tonight, is there anyone who you recognize at the bar tonight? The normal locals are here. They give you a wave and a nod of respect. You're the local doctor. Everyone knows you. There isn't anyone else, though, really, who catches your eye.
Any unfamiliar faces that are a little bit on the suspicious side?
Make
Faces like, I don't recognize you, and you definitely don't seem like you should be here.
That's fair, yeah. Make a mind observation roll with Streetwise if you have it. So, your
Let's see
mind
if I've
dice.
Well, I don't have Streetwise, but let's see if I've got anything else. Let's have a look. Where is it? Where is it? Yes. No, not there. Was. Okay, that's 2d8 and a what on the bonus?
So it was mind observation, and if you had the gift Streetwise, you could roll that as well.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so it's just 2d8s then. Cool. You rolled a 8 and a 4. Very nice. Two successes.
One success.
2 successes. It's an 8. 4 and above is a success. So you rolled.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's 4 and above.
Yes.
I was going half of the dice above, or some stupid thing. Yeah, 2 successes.
Very nice. So, because you've rolled 2 successes here, there is someone sitting in the corner who you don't recognize, and also comes across as a little bit like dangerous, you'd say. You've seen military men before. There's regular visitors at your practitioner looking to help, with shakes, with old war wounds, that sort of stuff. This guy comes across as a Tommy, who maybe it would be Tommy, would it? What's the name for the American?
No,
volunteers?
British ones were Tommies. American
Johnny. Is that
soldiers
right?
in World
It's
War
Johnny.
No, Tom.
Johnny.
Doughboys.
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 So you have a lot of. So he has the appearance of a doughboy, someone who volunteered and went out to World War One. Sitting there with his drink and a cigarette in the other hand. 1,000-yard stare. For sure doesn't seem very friendly, and you can tell that people are avoiding him.
So the good doctor's gonna discreetly turn to the barkeep.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the story with the new face over in that there corner?
Oh,
That boy seems like he cannon drunk.
that's he used to be I think his name what's his name? I think his name is William. I think his parents lived in town here, and they passed away a little while ago. He was at Verdun? Poor boy.
Verdun. Would that make him French?
He was at Verdun. Volunteered.
Were there American volunteers?
No, they wouldn't be at Verdun. They'd be at Ypres.
Well, she doesn't know that. She's
Yeah,
just saying.
well, yeah.
She's saying where she thinks he was.
Yeah, primarily in Flanders. Was the American sector.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
And-
Like Verdun
and
was
the
a
Ardennes.
completely French-German battle.
Yeah, it's closer to like Lorraine area.
I see. How long has he been here? I mean, I'm not begrudging anyone visiting this fine establishment, but, you know, seems a little bit out of place.
He's been here for an hour. His money's good, and he's been... I mean, listen, he doesn't look too friendly, but he's been relatively polite. More polite than some people I've had to deal with here.
I see. Well, thank you for letting me know that. I think I'll go take my usual seat if it's available.
It is. Your usual seat is relatively near to the band. It's a two-seater table that that everyone kind of knows. Oh, that's Dr. Jim's table now. That's where the good doctor sits. You sit down. William looks up as someone is like walking around, but then when he sees it's you, he just goes back to staring idly at a wall while smoking and drinking. You take your seat and you keep drinking. William doesn't seem to be paying you any mind.
I'm not going to press the issue immediately. I'll enjoy my time for, say, half hour, if he sticks around that long.
He's still there.
Okay, after half hour, after getting like a second beer, I think then I'll make my way over.
He looks up at you, and he doesn't stop you from approaching. He doesn't say anything, but he is looking at you, and he has acknowledged that you do exist.
Good evening there, sir. My name is Dr. Schultz. I just wanted to introduce myself, as I see you're an unfamiliar face to the area, and I thought, obviously, I couldn't abide by not presenting some hospitality to a new guest of this place that I'm a regular of.
He stands up and offers you a hand. There's no shake. There's no tremor. It's a strong handshake that he offers you. He is an otter. And he says, I'm William Miller. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Dr. Schultz.
Pleasure's all mine, sir. Pleasure's all mine. Might I purchase you a beverage?
If you're buying, yeah, I'll take another bourbon.
Of course, son. I'll get that fixed up for you in a jiffy. I'll go back to the bar to go add that to the order.
Faye is giving you this like sort of not. She's not giving you the side eye. Like she understands that you're probably just being nice. But she does seem a little bit.
I mean, I'm a doctor. And
yeah, you're a doctor.
Like, there's lots of these veterans around. It would make sense for a doctor to want to be like.
Yeah.
Chatty. There's a way of checking up on them. I mean, this was the era where. Not quite PTSD. They understood shell shock was a thing.
Yeah. They understood that there was not necessarily purely physical repercussions to war, basically.
This was when it was becoming more mainstream and accepted that this was a disease.
Mm-hmm. So
of some kind.
Yes. So you got she pours you a bourbon and you can bring it back to him. He's already sat back down and has pulled out a fresh cigarette. He offers you one. A smoke, that is.
A good doctor would accept me because obviously every medical professional knows that this is good for you.
Absolutely, yeah. 1 second, my headset's starting to die, and I don't want to. There we go. Now, so, he sits there. He says, "Thank you for the drink, doctor."
It's my pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you very much for the cigarette.
And he'll pull out. He has his lighter out, so he offers that to you if you want to use it. If you don't have your own one.
I mean, he would have his own one, but if he's already got there first, then he
Yeah.
just take the light.
His is already out, so he lights your cigarette for you. He lights his own cigarette and takes a sip of his bourbon. So, what can I do for you, doctor?
Oh, just getting myself a nightcap, and as I said, you use a unfamiliar face, sir. Then I just felt that my South Virginian upbringing teaches me to bring generosity to strangers in places like this. Very generous people in the South, you understand? So I thought I'd come introduce myself and engage some brief conversation. And I do have to ask, excuse me if this is somewhat forward, but you got the bearing of a former soldier, is that correct?
That would be correct.
Yeah, I have met a lot of veterans of the Great War in my time, so I kind of got used to seeing certain telltale signs, you understand? It's not trying to poke any nose into any business or anything like that. Just had a thought if that would be the case. Did you serve in the Great War yourself, sir?
Yes, I fought at Lys and Montdidier and Champagne, a few places.
Quite the conflict, I'm sure. Well, I thank you for serving to protect the interests of our fine nation. And by God, I hope that sacrifice of you and the boys means that war will not haunt us ever again.
No, they're already calling it the First World War, Doc. I'm not sure on that one, but I appreciate your optimism.
So, mind telling me about what brings you to this fine establishment, or perhaps even this fine city if you're new to the city? Just as a casual conversation.
My mother was from Bellegarde. My father was from Florida. And when she passed, I hadn't been back here in a long time, but I said I'd come visit while rambling through. I stayed here a little bit longer than I expected, but it's not hard to find work here for someone like me. I'm enjoying my time here, though. It's a nice city, and the music's good, and the booze ain't bad.
I certainly can concur with that sentiment. I've been here for about a few months now myself, and just getting acquainted to this place, but I do have to concur with that assessment. It's very fine city.
It's been a long few weeks, but I'm starting to like it here. And I know that I'm not exactly the most approachable man. I have a bit of a stern look that I've earned over my time, but I do my best.
Not at all, sir. Not at all. I understand that a lot of people who went over the ocean came back maybe slightly different than before, and it's not of any of consequence of theirs. It's a consequence of the environment. So certainly, I take no. I have not felt any umbrage or. I see that you seem to be quite a fine and upstanding gentleman myself.
Oh, thank you, Doc. It's appreciated. I got work in the morning, but listen, if you ever have need of me, and he produces a business card. It is a business card that has his job on it. He is a pillar worker, so he is working basically on the supports of the town, which makes sense. He's an otter. He's a semi-aquatic animal. He hands it to you. You let me know.
Absolutely, thank you. I'll definitely keep a hold of this, and likewise, please take my card. If there's anything that you might need help with medically, please don't hesitate to book an appointment.
Of course, I'll let the bars on my shift know as well that you're willing to speak to them if they need you.
Of course. I'm happy to help treat any person who comes through my door.
He at that point nods. He puts out the cigarette, what's left of it, there's not much left of it, into the ashtray in the middle of the table. He leaves a fairly sizable tip underneath the empty glass of bourbon on the table. He puts his hat on and gives you a very courteous nod as he heads towards the door.
Question.
Yes.
Would someone in that career have that kind of money to leave that kind of tip?
Oh yeah, it's a union job.
It's just you oh, all right, fair enough. It's just you mentioned a sizable tip, and that immediately drew red flags. Hold on, the construction was decent money, but like, how sizable tip are we talking here? Like,
it's enough that
indicator.
it's enough that it would be. It's not enough to be super suspicious for someone who maybe lives on their own in a smaller apartment, who works a job that's like that, because it's a union job. It's the maintenance of the city. It's a very well paying role with good benefits.
I had to fish.
That's fair. No.
See if that was a signal of something.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
I mean, already the fact that he's a pillarman and what Rival discovered, kind of raises suspicions.
I don't know. It's a great question. It's a good question. No worries about it. So at this point, he leaves, and Fane comes over to you and is like, she pats you on the back, and goes, "Good job, Doc." And she starts cleaning up the glasses and the full ashtray that's on the table.
Well, I was reading in a medical journal a couple of years ago about a lot of the issues that the poor boys that came back from that war have had to deal with. A lot of them, psychological, psychic in nature. Wasn't it psychic was the term back then?
Yeah, psychic
Not
was the
to
term.
describe like mental powers, but actually psychology.
Yes.
Yeah, trying to remember the terminology of the 20s back then.
It's not exactly something we remember these days. To be fair.
They come back changed people, so it's important for our profession to reach out to see if there might be issues at stake there. I mean, there's all kinds of names of it, like cannon, drunk, shell shocked, and war tired, and all the rest. So it's always good when you see those sort of signs to make sure that they're okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, good job, Doc. It's nice to see that he's not about to act up in this bar, at least. She gives you another pat on the shoulder and says, "You want another drink?"
Please, one more for the road, I suppose.
All right. And she goes back and brings away the full ashtray and the glass, and brings back an ashtray that's empty, and leaves a beer bottle with you. Right. At this point, we're going to go to the intoxicated Lucy. Lucy, you're looking to get home.
2 successes on that check.
Yes, but you're still intoxicated. You're just not blackout. You are going to drive home, which means I'm going to ask you to make a mind transport, and you can feel free to use your driving gift.
I mean, at least you're not breaking the law.
Yeah, you're not actually breaking any laws here.
Back when driving drunk was simply a nuisance and a civil matter.
Yeah.
Just trying to find another D8.
Too many dice.
Yeah, so mind D8, transport D8, driving, I think, is a D12.
Every gift is a D12. Yep.
So that's 2 D8s and a D12.
Very nice.
So that's a 3, 6, 12.
Nice. So 2 successes. So, are you heading back to your house, or are you looking to go somewhere else?
House.
House. Cool. You're heading back to your
good night.
hotel. Sounds good to me.
Yep.
So you head on back, and you get there with no real issues. The rain is quite heavy, and everything else about it's quite dense rain. It's that rain that you can see the rain in waves hitting.
Yeah.
There's a question here.
That is an important question. Did
The
Lucy
top's up.
put the roof up on her car before she went into the bar?
Ooh.
I'm assuming it's a classy place, so there would be an overhang to the parking.
Yeah, there is, but you probably had to take the time to put it up beforehand, before you left, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're
would.
okay this time. You're okay.
You wouldn't be waterlogged.
No, you're okay this time. This time, maybe next time you might not be, but this time
It wasn't necessarily established that it was raining really hard beforehand, because if I knew that, probably
It
would just
wasn't
put the
raining when
top
you
up
got
and just
there.
slept in the car. But whatever.
It wasn't
It
raining
doesn't
when you
matter.
got there. It is raining really hard, as I mentioned to Rival earlier. So if you're just putting the top up and sleeping
Yeah.
in the car, you can do that. I'm not gonna.
No, we already rolled the dice.
Cool.
We already rolled the dice.
Yeah, Lucy's drunk.
Metaphorically, the GM's hand has left the chess piece.
Lucy's
It's
drunk.
already
She's
been
having
done.
she's having a great time trying to get home. So yeah, you get home with no real problem because the roads are quiet because it's raining, and everything
also
else
like
is going
what,
well.
like 20 cars or something like per mile or something like that.
There's 20 cars per 1,000 people, maybe.
Yeah, it's super small. So yeah, there's nothing on the road. And horses know when to get out of the way. So
Yeah. So you
whatever's we use beast of burden established.
So you get back. Thankfully, there is also a overhang at the parking at the hotel because, yet again, they're not super fancy, but they are fancy enough to have a continental breakfast. So they have an overhang at the parking area.
Even if she'd leave the top up, she wouldn't just like, well,
Yeah.
I'm here. Take this down and just leave this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say she's that drunk. If you definitely if you were more drunk, I'd say
She was that drunk that
you
she
don't-
wouldn't even be able to roll.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? So you get back to the hotel, you head inside, head to bed. You're fine for the evening. Get home with no real problem. And after that, of course, we head to bed. Everyone's asleep except for, well, actually, no. I think everyone except for Ace. You finish your shift. Are you doing anything? Are you calling anyone?
No.
Cool.
I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning to call people.
Gonna wait till the morning. No worries at all. So everyone heads to
because
bed.
I'm going to say that Wednesday is her day off.
That's fair, yeah. So you all head to bed. You sleep as well as you can sleep. And the next morning, you all wake up. As you do. That's basically it. And we're going to start with... Roach, make me a body roll. Just roll me a body dice.
Just body?
Yeah, just roll me a body dice.
It's a D4, so
Yep,
I mean,
just roll me a
it's
body dice.
All right. 3.
A headache isn't too bad. There's a slight ache in the morning, but it goes away after breakfast.
She's young, or her personality's reckless, and her motto is "Life's short, let's enjoy it."
Yep.
So I mean,
So as far as I'm concerned, you wake up, there's a slight headache, but then you have your continental breakfast with your coffee, and you're good to go. You're back to normal.
lots of grease.
Yep.
Lots of...
Like, I would like 17 pieces of bacon and 2 eggs.
But it's like fancy eggs. It's like a soft-boiled egg.
Yeah, God, I love a soft-boiled egg. Anyway, the rest of you, Rival, what are you doing in the morning here?
I'm drinking coffee, sitting next to the phone.
Right.
I'm waiting for Jenny to call me.
Cool. Ace, you're off today. Are you calling anyone?
I was going to call or go and see Mr. Bullet.
I'm not going to say you have a phone in
I
your...
don't have a phone in the,
in the house.
So it's whether the nearest payphone is walking distance.
I'd
Do you live in an apartment building?
Yes.
You have
There's
a floor
there's
phone.
a floor phone.
Yeah, there's a floor phone.
There's
It
a common
is...
Use
section.
the floor float.
Let's see, the floor phone is occupied right now, shall we? Floor phone is not occupied. This Wednesday morning.
I potter out with my card.
Cool. And you get forwarded to Jake. Jake, your phone goes off.
Okay, I answered the phone. Hello?
Good morning, Mr. Bullet.
Who is this?
It's Lily Rose Stone. Ace.
Ah, Ace. What can I do for you this morning?
I found a couple of bits out, and I've remembered something. Is it all right if I come over to your office this morning? You're gonna be in.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a call, so I'm not going anywhere.
All right. Would you like me to bring some breakfast?
No, I've got my coffee.
Well, that's not a good way to start the day.
I'm good.
All right. Yeah. Oh, your address is on your card. Okay. I'll be over in about an hour.
Okay, I'll be waiting.
Cool. So, Ace, you start heading out. About 5 to 10 minutes later, your phone goes off again. Rival's phone. Your phone goes off again, Rival. About 5 or 10 minutes later.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that was me.
No,
okay.
no, you're good.
Yeah. Oh.
You left a message? It's Jenny.
Hey, Jenny. Can you stop by my office some point today?
Some point today. Yeah, I should be out there at some point.
Excellent. Did a little snooping around the Amethyst Eye last night.
Oh?
Found a firearm, one bullet used, stashed in one of the foundation poles.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'll make my way over to you post my lunch stop. I should be nearby at that point.
I'll be here.
Awesome. And she hangs up. Then we go to the doctor. The good doctor. Your morning is in the office. You're giving out more alcohol subscriptions. Today, there is a lot of people looking to hand you, a decent bit of money for a. It's not a forged prescription, anything like that. It's just a. It's just a helpful. It's just a helpful
might
prescription.
over-egg their symptoms a little bit.
Yeah,
These are still symptoms.
Yeah, there's still symptoms. You're all good. You're all good. Ace is there, and right. Yeah. So the first person to arrive at your office, Bullet, is Ace.
She has absolutely bought you a muffin and a bagel.
Told you I was okay.
Now, who said these were for you?
Well, you better start eating then.
Starts nibbling at them.
Nom, 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 nom.
No.
Yes.
So what can I do for you, Miss Rose?
Well, So, I was working last night, and a coyote fella was in the bar. Now, I'd seen him before at the diner, and it was odd. When he was at the diner, he was whispering to himself about the Lombardis and the Parisians having a bit of a tiff, and that would be bad for the O'Shaughnessy's. It came to me again last night when I saw this coyote fella, and you might not understand this, but he gave me a real tail itch.
It was made you suspicious. Something was off about it.
Yeah, because I wanted to flip up and spray him.
Right. Okay. Any reason why?
Oh, he said that the area around the Amethyst Eye was under Muldoon territory, and he just came out and said it without me. He heard I'd been there, and he just came out and said it. And he also said he was a cleaner, but he said it with a...
Cleaners in the underworld is someone who cleans up messes, no matter how much mess they have to make to clean it.
Oh, that's why he would say it like he said it then.
Yeah.
Does his own joinery too. King's houses.
The only thing, so he was coyote, but he had it like he had been cut with a hook on his ear, and it's got a perfect little crescent moon on it.
Okay.
But he feels real shady, and I don't know if you could ask anyone about him. If he comes into the diner again, I'll try and call you, without raising too much suspicion. But
That works. Okay. Anything else?
No, sir. It's my Wednesdays are my day off. So I'm gonna spend some time with Mama and do a bit of shopping. But if you need me, I wrote down the name of our floor, the number of our floor phone. So give me a call. You can come visit me and Mama.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time. Can I offer you a cup of coffee before you go and enjoy the rest of your day off?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Right. Okay then. Well, at least let me call you a cab.
Oh, you're too kind. No, I'll get the tram back.
All right. Well, you take care of yourself now, and remember, if you need, you call.
I certainly will if I see the coyote photo again.
Take care of yourself, Miss Illy.
Thank you, Mr. Bellet. Jake will find the bagel tucked under a pile of papers sometime after she's left.
Of course we will. Of course he will. All right. What's next, DM?
Next up,
Dungeon Mikey.
who am I punching?
Dungeon Mikey.
Dungeon Mikey. Yeah, DM, Dungeon Master. Yeah. Okay, I see what I get you. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, it would be Lucy, but she is not here at the moment, so we will go instead to Doc. Yeah, we'll go to the doctor. We'll go to the good doctor. Jimmy Schultz, I want you to make me a mind questioning roll, please.
Two success.
Cool. So, around 10-ish a.m., a new appointment comes in. And they are... You could definitely tell that they are of the soldier variety. They are well-built, lean, strong. They are definitely interested in talking to you about things. They have they've come in, they've sat down, and they're like, "Hey Doc, you talked to a friend of mine the other day, William Miller."
Yes, fine gentleman that I spoke to at a club that I frequent.
Yeah, the jazz club, right?
Yeah.
He recommended I talk to you. I've been having awful nightmares over the last few months, and it's making sleeping difficult. He told me to come to you. You seem to be a man he trusts, and I trust him.
Of course. So tell me more about this. These nightmares, are they more abstract things? Is it like, tell me a bit more about it.
So he begins to go into detail about his experience in World War One at Champagne Marine, where he was stationed for basically a large majority of his time he was there. He, talks about what it was like out there, the gas attacks, the constant shelling, the near constant worry about being buried alive in the trenches. He is sorry, I didn't tell you this. He is a rabbit. A short-furred American rabbit. And he's just talking a lot about what it was like out there, and it's his constant, the nightmares that he gets most consistently are of him being, basically blown to smithereens and left to rot in the no man's land, which happened a lot to people out there.
So his nightmares specifically, are they more like relived events or abstract?
They're experiences taken from what he has seen. So I would say they are definitely like reliving, but he's reliving them through the eyes of the people who they couldn't save, if you know what I mean. He's imagining what it would be like.
The angle I was going.
Yeah, he's imagining what it would be like to die like that.
Giant monsters, or is this nightmares about an actual place and
actual place, actual time, actual people that he recognizes, and then an event that didn't happen happening, and him dying at a field in Champagne somewhere.
Yes. This is something I've been seeing a lot more of with my patients. I've been getting quite a few veterans of the Great War coming in, so just give me a second. And Dr. Schultz is actually going to go to his library of books.
Yeah.
And medical journals, and he's going to go to some of the more recent ones while I totally don't Google how they treated shell shock in the 1920s.
Sure. So, to do this like mechanically, I'm going to ask you to make a mind.
Academics?
Yeah, mind academics with medicine
Yeah.
as a bonus. So you rolled 2 successes. Well, 1 success actually.
One.
1.
I guess I'm dealing with like a new thing.
It is a relatively new thing. The concept of treating, a shell-shocked individual or a cannon-drunk individual it's not something that people have a fine science on yet. In fact, we don't even have a fine science on it really today, but we understand more of it today than we did back then. There's a lot of talk about, grounding yourself in reality. A lot of talk about, the need to separate the real from the unreal. Separate what was happening then, which is what is happening now. Which you have a concept around how you might be able to help him with that, given, he's no longer in Champagne. And Champagne is a very different region of the world compared to here. Here is obviously very mucky and very swampy and all that. Over there, it's lush green fields. At least I don't even think it's back to that now in the timeline, given it's a little bit more than 10 years later.
Oh no, there would be significant red zones.
Yeah, with like mines and unexploded munitions and stuff like that.
Oh god, there's still red zones to this day.
Yeah.
In those areas, but they're much better now. But at the
time, probably not great.
Like no-go areas.
Yeah, a lot of you don't go near there because we don't know where our own mines are, and
not just mines, the unexploded artillery munitions and all that. They had to cut off swaths of land into no-enter zones.
Mm-hmm. So you have concepts and ideas rolling around in your head.
Okay. So there are some new treatments coming through on the research side for this. These treatments I would not be able to directly provide, but I can get you a referral to a specialist at the city hospital. They've got options like electric shock therapy. That's where they're gonna bolt. It's not don't be afraid of hearing this, but it's like a light charge that's just gonna help restart and reset those parts of your brain that are causing these psychosomatic events while you're sleeping, and they're saying that this could prove to be a revolutionary treatment. There's other options where there's psychodynamic treatments that are similar to I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Sigmund Freud. He's been working over the years. He was working on psychoanalysis, mostly for more like domestic issues resulting in certain emotions that people wanted controlled. But there are doctors that are modifying that process specifically for dealing with the great amount of veterans coming back with these cannon drunk symptoms. You might also find hypnotism helps too. It's been said to be a treatment being used in a great many cases, according to the Medical Journal of 1925. Any of these options sounding good for you, sir?
Have you suggested any of them before with positive results?
Would there have been? I'd assume there would have been maybe a couple of cases.
There's a couple of public cases that like the hypnotism has had some effects. There's been some. There's there's a few other bits and pieces in there for sure that you think have had positive results with other people's cases, in America especially, because there's a large number of doughboys who came home who needed help, and a lot of the doctors around who've suggested things. You for sure you for sure know people have recommended the hypnotism before, and that seemed to have helped a lot of people who you've seen in your reports, at least.
Yes, I've certainly had people I've referred for hypnotism have experienced some positive results from that. I mean, it's still early days, but definitely encouraging signs. So it's certainly something I would recommend, given that you may provide some relief for you, sir. Another option as well, and alongside that, is that there are doctors that have been trialing anesthetic therapy, where they're using anesthesia just to calm the nerves, but well, alcohol is a type of anesthetic, and I am state licensed to be able to prescribe you some today if that you feel that would help. Alongside the hypnotism, that may help cool and calm those nerves for you, sir.
Sure, I'll try that. Yeah, I mean, I need to sleep, man. And,
the funny thing is, people giggling, that this was genuinely a treatment. Genuinely a treatment.
Oh,
He's
I
actually not
believe
scamming the guy at this point. Like, this is like, he doesn't even need to scam off the guy. Like, 100% he's following best practice here.
I believe you, but I feel like it's making mentally ill people alcoholic, as well as being still mentally ill.
Oh, yes, and Dr. Schultz is all here propagating that. Like, he genuinely thinks he's helping, alongside making money for himself, of course.
Yeah, of course. You gotta do you do both things here.
Okay, and obviously, if the use of the spirits is not giving you enough of that calming effect, then do come back, and I can look at prescribing something a little bit more stronger for you. There are pills that give a much more stronger anesthetic effect, and we can, it gives us an option to escalate the treatment, so to speak, to give you more power for combating. But let's start low with a mild anesthetic effect through the prescribed medicinal alcohol before we build up to those options.
Of course, if that's what you think is best, of course.
Alright then, let me just go ahead and get that written up for you, and I do actually have the details of a fine hypnotist right here that I'll give you his details, and he'll be able to arrange an appointment for you. Do mention that I recommended him for you, sir, and you'll definitely get an appointment quite quickly through that way.
Of course. Thank you. And he'll take the details. He's very happy to. He seems a lot happier than when he came in. He seems very positive about what he's going to be doing in the near future to help with himself, his own physical and mental state. He pays whatever he owes you, and leaves. Then we will go to Rival. There's a knock on your door. You know it's Genevieve because of the way she knocks.
Yeah, come in, Jenny.
She opens the door and comes in, closes it behind her. What's up?
Alright. Pull open the drawers next to me, reach in, pull out the handkerchief-covered pistol, and...
That it?
That's it.
And she pulls on a pair of gloves, the leather gloves that they would have worn back then, instead of wearing. They don't have access to the modern plastic gloves we have. She comes over and takes off the handkerchief and releases the cylinder, pushes it out, and looks at what's in the cylinder. Shot fired. 5 full cartridges otherwise. Looks to be in good condition. And she closes the cylinder. Smith & Wesson. I mean, it's a good pistol. It's not cheap. This thing would set you back what I make in like a year.
I described the location I found it.
Oh, like between 10th and Sharp, right?
Yeah, and the foundation pole with the hollowed out section and all. It's like, give her the full description.
Yeah. And
you can go and check it out yourself.
Okay, yeah, that checks out. Yeah, because I do remember seeing that a little while ago. Not the hollowed out section, but the pillar. I think they installed that recently because of some shifting going on underground, you know. Yeah, okay, I'll take a look at that. Right. As for this, you smelled gunpowder, right?
Yep.
I can't smell it, so I assume it's a case of it's a bit too late for me, but for you, you can still smell it. You find anything else with it?
Just the box of ammo. Check the hiding place. Nothing else, but...
Alright, that's fair. That's fair. Well, we have no real way, unfortunately, of figuring out who fired this other than it was a gun near the scene, so don't really have any other way of figuring this out. Let's see, serial number, and she like looks around the gun to find a serial number, and it's like, there's no serial number on this thing. At least not where I think it would be.
Okay, so how do you get an unserial numbered gun?
Either you would buy it somewhere and then file the serial number off in the hope that you never get caught with a gun without a serial number on it, or someone at the factory doesn't put it on it, which is not how it works.
Well, I've checked that. I haven't found a serial number anywhere on it, and I haven't found file marks to suggest it's been taken off. If that's the case, then someone with a lot of juice got that pistol made.
Yeah. Not sure which factory made it either, because obviously there's no factory marks on this damn thing either. Well, the headquarters for Smith & Wesson is in Maryville, out in Tennessee. I suppose you could call them.
Yeah, they're going to admit to allowing a pistol that's not been registered and serialed properly.
I mean, you don't have to tell them that. You just have to tell them that you found a gun that you don't know who it belongs to, and you want to see if you can find the owner. These things are expensive. There's a very limited number of these made.
Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Right.
You got anything else going on?
Not currently. Still looking into those suspects. Haven't gotten any names yet. Can confirm, however, that the wife is clean.
You really suspected the wife?
We gotta check every angle here, but nah, she was at home and was distraught to learn that her husband had been killed.
So we've got an unregistered gun, a dead body, and as far as I can tell, so far, no reason for him to die.
Nope. No reason.
Especially not in the way it was done.
No, the way it was done makes it even less, possible, it seems.
Well, I won't keep you, Jenny.
No worries. No worries. I'll call you if anything comes up, and you call me if anything comes up, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. And she
leaves.
Turns to leave, of course. Roach, are you back?
It says in the notes that she's had.
She's what, sorry?
She's had to lie down.
Oh, okay. No worries. So, with that, Jake, are you going to head anywhere? Is there anything you're particularly wanting to do now that you've got that information?
I didn't get any information. I mean, I could call the manufacturer in Tennessee, but I don't even have a serial number to trace the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
A PI calling them and saying, I've got an unregistered gun here. That'd be best going through the police. They at least have some juice to actually make some things happen.
Right. Are you gonna ask Jenny before she leaves if she'd do that for you?
She doesn't seem inclined to actually want to do it, to be honest with you. I'm starting to wonder if I can actually trust Jenny.
Can I trust Jenny? Oh. I mean, I suppose I'm doing my job. I'm making you guys question who you should trust.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'll ask Jenny if she'd be able to do the follow-up on the pistol. Because they're not going to they're not going to tell me anything.
She sits down at the desk and pulls out, takes your phone over to her and goes, yeah, sure. And picks up the receiver and, you hear her go, yeah, can you connect me to the Smith & Wesson factory headquarters in Maryville, Tennessee, please? Yes, I'll hold. And then she does this where she holds the phone side out to your end, where you hear the ring of an on hold ring, basically. And then a few seconds later, there's a pickup. Hello, my name is Officer Jenny Lviv in Bellegarde. I just wanted to call you guys about a firearm that's come into our possession recently. It might have been involved in a murder case. We need to reference it with your records if that's possible. Of course. Yeah, I'll wait for your supervisor. A few seconds go by. Yes, this is Jenny speaking. Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah, what do you guys have in the 357 range? That seems to be what this gun is. It's a big, hefty firearm. Yeah. Okay. How many of them have you shipped out down here? And she does this where she scribbles something, and she scribbles down she pulls out her notepad and flicks it open and scribbles some stuff down on a blank piece of paper. Yeah. And where did those go? To yeah. Okay, yeah. Any of them that might have shipped out west and then came back? Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, no worries. That's great. Thanks for your help. Yeah, goodbye. Bye. She hangs up, and then she turns the notepad around to you so you can read it. Basically, there was 100 357 Smith & Wesson Model 9s, I believe they're referred to as, shipped from Maryville to Bellegarde in the last year and a half-ish. They've been shipped to three or four different gun shops have bought basically a case of them each, and a case contains about 20. There was then also a case that was shipped out west to California, to Los Angeles, and then shipped back to here. It was purchased as as essentially surplus. There was only 10 of them in that box, so there was 110 of them basically brought here over the last 18 months or so, give or take.
Interesting. Well, looks like I've got to start tracking down 100 guns.
Well, yeah, all the firearms stores in town, right?
Yeah, I know most of them, and I'll find the rest.
In this case, I'm not sure you should worry about the underground ones. These things, it's hard to get these things as is legally. Never mind shipping them from a place like Tennessee all the way here for an underground case. I'll keep my my nose to the grindstone though on that. You leave the the underground stores to me. You deal with the legitimate ones.
All right.
I'll give you a call before I clock off shift tonight for that as an update.
All right. I'll grab my coat and start hitting the legitimate stores.
Cool. So Lucy's going to drive you around. The first store you hit actually isn't far away from where you live. It is owned by a lovely older man named Sam Leclerc. Sam is a rat. He has a good selection of basically personal protection guns. So nothing long, no long guns, no shotguns, just a lot of pistols and revolvers basically, and the odd knife and stuff like that, stuff that you would use in a personal protection situation. He sees you come in and goes, "Hey, Bullet, you looking for another box of ammo? Or you all right for now?"
No, not today, man. I'm looking for some information.
All right, that I can provide. And he pulls up a stool and sits down behind his table. What do you want to know?
Well, you heard about what happened over at the Amethyst Eye, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, I've got an unregistered pistol.
Oh,
No serial number, no filing.
wow. Okay. And he pulls out a book from underneath the table and opens it. What model?
I gave him the model and make and everything that we've managed to pull up.
Smith & Wesson Model 9. He opens up pages and flicks through it. We have 6 in stock. I bought them from a surplus store out in LA.
California?
Yeah. I have 6 here. All 6 of them are still in stock. They're in... And he leans over and then points into a cabinet where you can see all 6 of them are sitting there, neatly laid out with the price tag still tied to them. That's all 6 of them there. I know 4 more came in the box, but they went to the cops. Got those, I think. They were personal orders from cops nearby.
Personal orders.
Yeah. So they had ordered. They came to me and said, "Hey, I want to buy a new sidearm because I don't like the one I have because they're government issued." And he said to me, "All right, I want 4 of these Smith & Wesson 357s." And I said, "Yeah, I can provide those for you." And all over the counter, I have the registered number here if you want to take a look at it. And he shows you the piece of paper that has all of the registers on it, and you can see all of the names. You recognize all the names of the cops. You don't remember if Jenny works with any of them, or if they're in the same precinct, or if they're even in the same if they know each other in any sense of the phrase. But they are cops and they are registered, and you see that they have serial numbers with the names and a sale price which is accurate.
All right. Appreciate it, bud.
No worries. Anything else I can help you with?
You know of... You got 10 that were from LA.
Yeah.
4 went to cops, 6 are still on the shelf. They're all serialed, so that's good.
Yes.
But I've got 100 that came into the city over the last year.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Did any of them fall off the back of a truck at any point?
He thinks for a moment. Not that I'm aware of. I ordered 10, I got 10. However, when it comes to that sort of thing, it wouldn't necessarily be me trying to get them to fall off the back of the truck, if you get my meaning.
Absolutely.
So...
But I was hoping you might hear things.
Well, in that case, what I would recommend doing is talking to... Toft Shipping is who you're looking for. Fellow by the name
the people who ship them.
Fellow by the name of Calvin Toft runs the place. He ships various goods around the place. Has a depot out near Crofton 7th, I think it is. Older boar fella. You should recognize him the second you see him.
Right. So he's the guy who shipped the weapons into the city.
Yeah. He's the guy who I had to pay to ship my guns here.
All right, so he might know some more.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate the seat.
Hey, no
the
worries. No
information,
worries. Don't worry about it.
and the answering of the question.
Hey, don't worry about it. I know that if I needed something from you, you'd help me out.
Always have, haven't I?
That's true. Right. If you need anything from me, be it bullets or guns, you let me know.
Will do. And I leave.
Cool. So we're getting actually close to the end of our time for the day. So what I think we're going to do, given Roach isn't here and you're about to go meet up with someone who I think we're going to need Roach here for, we're going to call it there for the stream, guys. So for anyone at home, thank you for watching. Hopefully I don't have to do too much editing to fix the little hiccup we had in the middle of the stream, but don't worry about it. I'll fix it if we have to. So quick shout out to everyone here. Big shout out to Commissar Roach for playing in the game. Big shout out to Red and Rival of RivalzoneGaming. You could find him there on Twitch and YouTube. Big shout out to our main man Utari Onzo. You can find him on YouTube at Utari Onzo or on Twitch. I think you're on Twitch, but you don't stream very much. You're a busy man. He's got kids.
Really, I don't really stream so much.
He's a busy man. He's got kids, but you know, if you wanna chat to him, he does have a Discord still. Maybe you want to talk about Warhammer. That's a thing of his, as you can see from all of the objects in his background. As for me, you can find me on Twitch at SurelyOnlyMikey. You can find me on YouTube at The Long Play Gamer. I've been playing a lot of Football Manager recently, so if you're into watching me play spreadsheet simulators, feel free to come on over and drop in. As for that, that's everything from me, guys. Everything from us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully we'll see you again next week for more Bellegarde. Goodbye.